Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast. I love cooking with cheap pieces of meat like this. This is a chuck roast. They're really inexpensive, but they take very well to long, slow braises. And today we're making beef barbacoa, which is going to be the main ingredient in one of Arizona's most iconic dishes. But more on that later. Let's roll that intro. Along the border states of California, Arizona, and Texas are some fantastic Mexican food. However, the dish we're making today is not Mexican in origin at all. In fact, it was invented in Tucson, Arizona. We're making the chimichanga. This delectable little fried burrito can be filled with all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna fill mine with some slow braised beef barbacoa, some jack cheese, some pickled onion. We're gonna fry it up and top it with some chipotle cream and pico de gallo. Let's start making that beef barbacoa. Beef's in the oven, and now we're going to work on our accoutrements that are going inside and on top of our chimichangas. In the braise, we use this Lumberyard Brewing Company's red ale out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and this red ale has some like toffee caramel sweetness to it that once cooked down for a long period of time, those flavors tend to intensify, and that gives a sweetness to that braise that we want. The beer that we're going to pair this with is the Mother Road Brewing IPA, Tower Station IPA. Now, if we were to cook with that IPA, braising that liquid down for like 6 hours, those flavors will intensify as the liquid reduces, and the bitter hoppiness that we get out of an IPA would intensify, and therefore we would end up with a lot of bitterness in there that we don't want. So, Lumberyard Brewing Company for the cooking, Mother Road Brewing Company, Tower Station IPA for tasting it with. Both breweries are out of Flagstaff. Now let's get to our accoutrement. In addition to the spicy beef barbacoa that's going to be on the inside of these chimichangas, we're going to add some shredded jack cheese, and we're also going to add a pickled red onion. These are going to be very simple onions. I'm actually going to thin slice them julienne. Then I'm going to put the red onions in a bowl and squeeze the juice from a couple limes. Stick that bad boy in the fridge and let those hang out in that lime juice and pickle up a little bit. Now, the two things we're going to put on top of our chimichangas are a chipotle crema and a pico de gallo. The chipotle crema is super simple. In a food processor, I'm going to mix some sour cream, garlic, cilantro, and then that reserved adobo sauce from earlier. Most of you guys have made pico de gallo before. It's just a simple fresh salsa that goes on top because that barbacoa is really fatty, and so to have something nice acidic on top is going to complement it really well. It's just going to be some diced up tomatoes, some onion, cilantro, serrano pepper, lime juice, salt, pepper. Let that hang out for a bit, and that's it. And once again on this show, I try and make as much stuff as I can from scratch, so I'm making the homemade flour tortillas. If you want a more in-depth review on how I do this, go back right here and check out the Baja style fried fish taco, my very first episode, where I go in a little bit more detail about how to make these. barbacoas out of the oven. Now let's assemble our chimichangas, get them fried up, and let's dig in.
That's kind of a cool can. And once again, this is the Motherlode Brewing Tower Station Indian Pale Ale. Let's dive in. Man, that's delicious. Woo! Yes! My high school cafeteria actually served chimichangas. They're these little tiny flimsy things that were $1. Most people who know of chimichangas get them out of the freezer, pop them in the microwave, they're dry. This is not that. The outside of the tortilla is crispy, the inside is moist and tender. There's the fattiness from the barbacoa, the acidic pickled onions, and then those chipotles that are in that beef barbacoa and in our chipotle crema on top offer this little bit of heat to it, and that's where this beer comes in. IPAs and heat go really hand in hand. We talk about beer pairing all the time, and that is a great go-to. IPAs, a little bit of spicy food, go really well, they balance each other out. I want to talk about the beef barbacoa, because like I said earlier, it's a really cheap cut of meat, just with that chuck roast, and there is tons of flavor in this. And there's so many different things that you can do with barbacoa, from tacos, burritos, chimichangas. Just serve it on a plate with some warm tortillas, rice and beans. Highly suggest making this on a Sunday afternoon and meal prepping for the week, because it's super cheap, it's very easy to do, really flavorful, and delicious.
Well, that is it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. One thing I did want to ask is, if you are making any of these recipes at home, I want to hear about it. Please tell me in the comments down below. And if you feel that I've represented your state well, give me a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, man!